today we were featuring the Get Ready With Me featuring Sephora recommendations, as well as a little quick demo of the Dyson Airwrap. I did my skincare routine already, but that included the Merit Great Skin that I talked about in the recommendations video, as well as the faded topicals faded that I use for my darker spots. And if you want a full list of my skincare recommendations, I'll list them below as well as in that other video. But those are a couple things I used this morning. Oh yeah, and the Peter Thomas Roth. Let's go in with the Vanish Airbrush Primer. So as for primer, I don't always put primer on, but when I want a really nice smooth canvas, I'll pull for this one. I'll pull for Chantecaille's Anti-Pollution Mattifying Cream. That's another one I really like. This one though is available at Sephora and it has a very similar feel to it. Yeah, this just smooths the skin really nicely, gets it ready for foundation. Now for foundation, I'm really liking the no foundation look. I'm really liking actually the feeling of no foundation on my face. So as little product as possible I can put on. That's what I'm doing. And it's either concealer or something like this. This is the Merit Complexion Stick in the shade Suede. I thought I would show you how I use this in conjunction with a concealer if you want to do both. So I just placed this in the center of my face, really is where I need it, and I take their brush. And I usually love the Shiseido brush. You know, I love this one so much for foundation, but for some reason, maybe because they are bundled together, sometimes I like to use this with the #1 brush by Merit. It's a really nice one that gets in right under the eye here, right next to the nose, really quickly. So yeah, very fast. Yeah, this is especially great for no makeup lovers. And then I want to add a little bit more coverage with some concealer. So I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. This one here is in 8.5. Just go over my darker areas like this. And a little bit more heavy duty coverage. Yeah, this is just an IT Cosmetics brush I got so long ago. It's really one of my very few fluffy brushes like this. Heavenly Luxe Dual Airbrush Concealer, #2. Okay, I'm gonna take #8 and just brighten with that one right here. It's not as fluid as something like La Prairie, so I needed to just blend it slightly first. For eye primer, I'm going to use the one in the Dior Backstage eye palette. Oh, sorry, this one. This is in the shade 008 Khaki Neutrals. Now the only thing is just be careful because sometimes the shadow can end up in there. So you just make sure that's not in there when you apply this to your eye, or else you're gonna get a little bit of that eyeshadow on there. I do just add a thin layer though. You know, I love the Perfect Blur Powder by Chantecaille. They don't carry that at Sephora, but I'm going in with this one by Westman Atelier. And the first time I used this, I used a brush and there was a little bit of texture, but I did try it with a puff and it applied much better. So I'm gonna go in, this is the shade it's Creme, that's the shade. And I just powder the center. We're gonna go in bronze, and what I like about this one, this is the Merit bronzer in Seine, is that it's just, whoa, just knocked the light over. And what I like about this one is that it is in a stick form. It's balmy, it's more like a translucent product that you can see your skin through, so it's really natural, really easy to use. And I tried one shade lighter than this, and this one's the best shade. So I'm going to use the same Merit brush. Since I had to move that around, it negated that concealer a little bit. So let me just fix that. The Charlotte Tilbury again. I'm going to take a bit of the bronzer. Just get that on the same brush here. Just dot that on. Next, we're gonna do brows. Longwear Brow Gel by Dior. Love this one. And we're going to add this first. It's a bit of excess there, so let me just gonna use this spoolie to clean that a little bit. So if you get any on your skin, you can just use another spoolie to clean it up a little. What's nice about the Dior is that if it goes on too heavy, like it was a little bit too heavy here, I just went through it with a spoolie and kind of broke up the product. So I get the hold, but it's not really evident that there's gel in there. So that's another reason I love it so much. But we are going to go in with the Gucci pencil, which out of all the pencils that I've tried, I have a few that I really like. And the one that's available at Sephora is Gucci. And this is in the shade 04. It's not shiny. You can see I just went in really, really lightly to kind of clean everything up. This one's a little bit less about individual hairs and more about just filling in some of the sparse areas. I use the Chantecaille Shade and Sweep brush. And let's take, I don't want to totally replicate the look I did, although I was really, really happy with it. Let's take this one all over the lid. This is the shade Pure Gold, and it says it's a glitter. You can see their glitter is really not glittery. A little bit larger particles, but really not glittery to me at all, which is nice because I don't love glitter. We're gonna go in though with this shade next, and this is the perfect shade for the crease. It says it's a satin, and their satins are almost mattes, and this is in warm brown. Yeah, this palette is so easy to use that it's one of the reasons I love it so much, because it's kind of like a fuss-free kind of application. Let's see, let's go ahead with another shade. I love the green shades in here. Let's go in, I can't remember what did I do last time. Let's go in with, let's try this in the outer corner. I used it as an eyeliner last time, but let's just see how that looks in the outer corner, because you can see the color there. And this is in the shade glitter, not glitter, pine green, which they say is a glitter. And I just wish they had a, this is gonna be dark. I wish they had a mirror in there. That's the only thing I wish, because I keep having to switch here. So this is the dark green. It's really pretty. So I think I used this just as a liner, I'm gonna say, the last time I used this palette on camera. But I wanted to do something a little bit more dramatic, just because if you want to see something a little bit more subtle, you can go back to that video where I demoed this, and so glad I found this one. Let's go in with a little bit of this as part of the crease shade. I just want to blend that in. This is the shade Khaki, which is also a glitter according to them. But let's see, I just want to add a little bit here in the crease, just to kind of bring those two together. It's quite pigmented though still, so I have to be careful not to add too much. And then maybe we should add that gold shade that I didn't add last time, just because I haven't used it yet and I want to see what it looks like on. So we're gonna go in with this. So that's pretty fast in terms of making it a little bit more dramatic. Let's go in with this shade right on the center of the lid. It looks like this on. It looks like the color of pollen to me. It's called Warm Gold, and let's see how that looks. It's definitely more on the yellowy side. It does look like a pollen. I like it a little more subdued, like I had it over here. It's a little bright over here for me, a little too intense. Let's see, I can take that down a little bit. And then when I did the first look, I totally forgot I have an Hourglass pencil we can use. This is the Hourglass for your waterproof gel eyeliner, and this is in the shade, what did I pick this up in? Forest, and I thought this might go really well. Let's add that to the waterline. So if you're looking for a liner that would complement this, this is very nice. Just gonna smudge that with my finger. Really fast. Just evening things out here. Just a slight kitten wing. But that forest green, what it's called, I can't remember. The really dark green here, the pine green. The pine green in here, that deepest shade, Does a really nice job as an eyeliner if you wanted to use it as an eyeliner. But for those who want to try an actual eyeliner, this is nice. I'm going to just dot it like this underneath. Using Rephr 03, we're going to take, let's take this shade and just kind of bring that underneath as well. Just to soften it, blend it in a little bit. Okay, let me take, I always do this, I typically need to bring that color up a little bit further. So let me just take a little bit more of this one right here. Something I like to do with the powder just to clean up, just to make sure everything is smooth up there. I'm going to take this Westman Atelier powder again, this one, and I'm going to just take a big fluffy brush and blend the edges. I don't have anything from Sephora that will do this job, so I'm going to take my Clé de Peau concealer and just add it to the exterior so you can see how it cleans up this part. Creates a lot less work for me. I'm going to use the other side of this IT Cosmetics brush, the flat side. I'm just going to use that to help create that line. Been touching the eyeliner. I'm going to just soften that really gently. I just realized I have a little bit of a discoloration there now on my skin that I need to be working on there. Next up, we're going to go in with Tower 28 mascara. Again, really hard to impress me with mascara, but this one is impressive. Length, volume, separation, and lift all in one product. No clumping, no smudging, no flaking. Really easy product to use. And that's one coat. Makes such a difference. In addition to evening out my mascara, I filled in my brows a little bit more in the front, just really gently. I did want to go in with a Charlotte Tilbury powder, the Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish. This is in the shade Fair Medium, this white shade. I haven't tried the other shade, but this one seems to work well for what I need it to do, which is to brighten, especially up in the front, to blur a little bit and to perfect. And normally I would do this over blush as well, but I'm going to start out under blush just so you can see on the skin how it looks, because once the blush goes on, it's kind of hard to tell what's happening. So just do this straight onto the skin. I mean, I can do this before or after blush, or sometimes both. So here it is right here. So it does a little blurring, brightening, brings out bone structure. I love that, but you can't see the powder. It's very gentle. It does seem to also smooth out that texture in the front where I have pores. I like that a lot. So it's a really nice game-changing kind of powder. Let's go in with the NARS palette again. This is the Rising Star palette. And sorry, this is how it goes. And it's got the stars on it. It's their holiday palette. And last time I went in with this, which is really, really beautiful, but I thought we could try another shade, like a combination of shades. Let's go in with this just to see how that looks. I know some of us like really warm shades. So we're gonna go in with that one first, and we might build on some other colors. Okay, so we've got just this shade on right now, which looks really pretty on the skin. Sometimes lighter blushes won't work as well on my skin, but this one has a lovely, lovely glow. I think it looks really nice, but it's the lightest of the shades. But let's go in with this one as a pop of color. I'm really curious about that one. It's like a raspberry shade. I'm just gonna pop that on the cheek. And what I like is that these are slow building blushes, so if you love blush like I do and sometimes go a little bit overboard, which I definitely tend to do, this is a nice one because it's harder to do that. And then let's go in with this shade right here, and we're gonna go above the cheekbone, or on top of the highest point. Oh, I left my lip product in my bag. That's how much I love it. Let me go get it. Okay, grab the lip. It's the Dior Lip Glow. This is in the shade 028 Minty Rose, and it's the one that looks green, this one. But when you apply it, well, you can see what happens. And that's not because I had lip color on, it's because something is activated in there and it turns like a pinky shade. Really nice hydrating product as well. And this is for that non-fussy makeup kind of application that I love these days, like with the Merit product, something like this that just adds color, isn't a gloss per se or a lipstick, but it provides hydration like a lip balm does, but also a little bit of color, but it's kind of embedded in there. So it's not like sitting on top of the lip like a lipstick. And I have done this before, but I'll show you again because I had questions about the Dyson. It is quite an investment, so I'm happy to show this to you again. But I haven't used this on camera, but I dried my hair with this. So I have the Dyson dryer, which I've recommended in the past. And the reason why I didn't get this is because I thought, well, I have the dryer, I don't need this. But then I was fascinated by the attachments, like the curling part. So I wanted to see if I could use this as a dryer. And for me, I can use it as a dryer. I don't have that much hair. I think that's part of it. But I just use this and I won't turn it on for that part, for this part. But I just go like this and dry in these sections. And I just dry from underneath. And that's how I got here. So, okay, I'll show you really quick, but it's not really gonna be that different than what I showed you. So I turn it on. I've got the settings all on high, so high and high. And I just go. That's pretty much the extent of how I got here. So that's what I did to get to this part. My hair is straight anyway, but it can be a little bit wiry if I don't blow dry with a brush or with this. So I don't actually use the dryer anymore. What you do is you push this and pull out the attachment because there's a lock unlock mechanism here. And then I just take this, I think the wider of the two, and I just place it in there and then let that go and it locks it in place. So it's locked in place. It has this direction switching thing, which I think is new as of the updated version. So this is also the long hair version. And I got this because I thought, well, if it works on long hair, it's gotta work on shorter hair. And at the time my hair was shorter and I didn't know what direction I was going with longer hair. So for me, the one with the long hair version, yeah, I think there's just a couple of the attachments that are longer to accommodate long hair. And I thought that just makes a lot of sense to get this in case I want to go with longer hair. So I just put my hair up with a couple clips and I'm going to take sections of my hair, and then I finally figured this out since I started. So away from my hair, so you can see the arrows here, away is how I want to curl this. So I'm going to curl away. So same settings, both high, so the speed and the temperature. And then on. Let it wrap around. Hold it in place. I think I hold it in place for about 10 seconds. Then I move it to cool. And then I just remove the barrel like this, and then I get curls. It grabs the hair. You can help it if you want. Okay, and this is what it looks like. I haven't really styled it yet, but it can get kind of like this shape to it, which I don't totally love. And one other thing, I'll show you how I fix that in a moment. And one thing I wanted to point out is that I need a little bit of volume at the roots. So I do take this and have the air go like in this direction, and I'll put this at the roots and kind of push this and then cool shot that, and it'll give me a little bit of volume here at the crown. And I'll do that on both sides. And then I don't put much product. Oh, I didn't start with any product in here either, just shampoo and conditioner like usual. And then I kind of just loosen the waves like this, and then I'll go in with the hairspray like that, just to get a little bit of separation because the curls can sometimes just bunch together. And so then I can just take my hands and separate them a little bit. And then over here, sometimes can get this shape. So I need to pull them apart from each other, the curls. And a little bit of hairspray. And then again, just separate the curls a little bit. Okay, so I just had to do a minor adjustment because I was getting too much of that shape. And so what you can do if you have a shape and everything is going in the same direction, what I did is I took this, instead of curling everything that way, I took this and went this way. So now we're going in this direction to the left, and I took some hair and I curled it towards my face. So now we have some going towards, some away, and that way it eliminated this gap right here. So that's all I did. Okay, now we should be able to style. Sometimes I have to do it and sometimes I don't. It just depends on the day.